In the beginning, when we start to try to meditate, often there's an effort just to stay somewhat focused. Then it's good that we learn to relax. And it's more a matter of awareness than willpower.
Hi, Werner.
Hello, Andreas.
Can you talk about striving in meditation? My impression is that it's getting better when I stop striving completely.
Mm-hmm. Right. There is always that question between making effort and just be and relax. And some traditions are very much into making effort. And others say, no, efforts doesn't help you, doesn't bring you very far. And it's both. Of course, we don't need to make an effort in order to create reality. Reality is here, is now, it's there. There is no effort needed for that. We don't need to make an effort to become the self. You are the self. You are that divinity. It's not the result of an effort. Now, we have grown up in a world where we learned from childhood to make efforts all the time. Sometimes for reasonable things and sometimes for less reasonable things, but efforts are being made and it becomes such a habit that people are not aware how much effort they are making just by way of thinking all the time. It's a tremendous work, but it goes on unconsciously out of habit. And then when we try to detach from the continuous flow of thoughts, then basically it's just to let go and relax. But for somebody who has not done that, it's not easy to just say, and okay, I'm relaxing from my thoughts, and then one detaches from that. And so there comes in that we have to make an effort. An effort is not to create something, the effort is simply, the striving is simply to be aware, to inspire oneself, to be alert and to become aware. Oh, there, I'm off. I'm already again off everywhere else except here and now and being conscious. And there, the effort is to catch the attention and bring it back. And sometimes for some people, it's helpful to do that with a strong, willful effort. But then in between, those people also have to relax, otherwise they explode and become angry and don't want to have anything to do with it anymore. I think in the beginning, one has to push more and make more efforts, strive more, because the habit is so strong to always slip off with the thoughts that it's not easy to just be and relax and be in the present. And so it feels like a tremendous strife. But even for a beginner, it's good to do that a moment and then learn to relax, not to make effort. And then be aware, okay, got me again completely, and then make an effort to bring the attention back and then learn to relax. And as we are continuing, the rule of thumb is that striving is less and less necessary. There are some warrior people that just go their whole way, concentrating, striving, and if one is equipped with a tremendous willpower, he may pull it through and eventually the whole castle breaks down, the castle that the mind has created. But this is for very few people. Most of the people, this becomes too painful, too much of a continuous tension, and so it's much more advisable. Okay, make little efforts when you become aware. It's just turning, bring the attention back, but then learn to relax. And as we are going on, it's becoming more and more to just consciously relax, consciously be in the present, and then, in spite of that, be focused when relaxing. Not relaxing and okay, I relax and dream away. I relax and I'm here now.
In meditation, I seem to have an idea how I can apply that, but in daily life, it's still, I need a lot of striving to remind myself to come back, and immediately I'm gone again.
Well, then there in your daily life, there is nothing wrong to make a bit that effort to tell yourself, I want to remember. And then when you remember, then go for it instead of sort of remembering and pushing it away. Okay, here now, I take the trouble to catch my attention, stop the dream where I'm busy with, and turn the attention back to that conscious existence that is prior to the dream. That feels now for you, as you have been doing meditation for a long time, it comes quite effortlessly in meditation, but not so much in daily life because you didn't so much try. You did your meditation and then had done your duty and then you could forget about it. And maybe now you can start more also to apply that and do a bit that striving, make that effort. It's not a tremendous effort. You can do it playfully. Just remind yourself, hey, come on, be here, be now. Remember, intend to remember. And then we may have big gaps where there is not really a conscious moment and we are going on in our old usual habitual way. But then comes the memory back, and at that moment it needs a little effort. It's not a big effort, but it needs a little effort to have then the courage at that moment. Okay, right here now, I turn the attention back consciously, connect in the midst of whatever is going on and relax. And then it's not a tremendous effort, but it needs an effort to counteract the habit of always doing the opposite.
Like the kind of environment that I'm in seems to be very helpful. Like a couple of days ago, I was sitting at a very quiet, small lake in a beautiful nature, and that happened just, I relaxed just by itself and started to be aware. But if the environment is busy, like in India, it makes me neurotic and I get completely overwhelmed by thoughts and fears and whatever.
Right. Well, choose beautiful, helpful environments that as much as you can, but then still will have to pass time in our life, in our professional life, where it's not so helpful, and we can learn that even if the environment is not equally inspiring, to just be there in harmony and peace, that we can more and more become aware that actually even there there is that essence that is always like this and not affected by all that rumble that is going on all around.
This striving till the castle breaks down, was that your way?
Not so much. I mean, I tried from time to time, periodically. I tried again and thought, now I'm fed up. I'm just going with my will force. But then I became aware after relatively short time, I can't continue like this. It's driving me nuts. I'm getting angry. I know that there has people, some yogis that just were equipped like this, and they could just go on and on and on. And for me, I tried from time to time to use that raw willpower directly, but had to capitulate and say, no, I can't do that. It's just driving me nuts. But the will came in by just continuing. There, that was the level of the will, but not so much directly using the will in my meditation. Sometimes I was just desperate, and I said, "No, I have to somehow break through the walls or something," and tried. And then I became aware. Instead of becoming quieter, I started to become more and more restless. And if I insist, if I desperately try to continue, then I sooner or later could have become quite unbalanced. So it was clear, all right, I can use that little drops at the time, but not on and on and on. It was learning to be conscious and more relaxed. But the willpower was necessary that I kept on doing so.
Okay, I have to figure out how much willpower I have to use for myself too. Because yeah, sometimes I don't even. Sometimes I feel I can do it, and sometimes I know where the willpower is, and sometimes I don't even find it somehow.
Yeah. Sometimes one feels, oh, it just doesn't work. Huh? Right, but you can inspire yourself, and what helps if we can learn to go about it in a rather playful way. Oh, got me again there. I was again off completely, but right now, here, now, I connect, relax. And as the experience comes easier also in those circumstances, along with that comes also more the motivation to continue with that. Shall we leave it at that?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Just the last aspect that we touched with Andreas, I can go into that a little more. We are equipped with willpower. What is that willpower? Willpower is that capacity to direct the attention on an object, on something, and without getting all the time pulled away in other directions. But then the tendency is, when one is consciously using will, that we are getting all tense, physically, energetically, emotionally, intellectually. That is, one is using a lot of tension to somehow keep the willpower up. And as long as it is like this, then there is a limit how much we can use the will. Sometimes using will, even if it's a bit tense in our daily life for practical things, may be perfectly valid. It's an equipment that we got. But it's something that we're usually using, and then we relax. Because except somebody who has learned not to do so. The general tendency is we will immediately we get all tense on all the levels. And if we keep on holding on to that tension, that, then it becomes very painful. And persons can become very destructive if they still keep on holding on, willfully wanting something, be it in the spiritual story or in the outer story, the mechanism is the same. I want something, and then if it doesn't work, and I use the will more, and it doesn't work, and I use the will more, and it doesn't work, then people can become very destructive just because simultaneously with that tension, there is the tendency to build up a frustration. And so meditating with pure willpower is not there for many. There is a story of a yogi who started, and he decided he just goes with the will, and he kept on with willpower, going deeper, deeper, on and on with his will, and within a year he found himself quite transformed. But very few people are equipped like this, that they are capable of doing so. This man had already a preparation without being aware of it, that he was capable of relaxing in you while using the will. There is a possibility that we can keep the will focused if we consciously start to relax, if we become aware how strong the tendency is while using the willpower to get all cramped up. That I want something and grinding the teeth and everything is cramped. If we can see that, and if we can learn to detach and to relax, and even if we use the will not being so fixed, it has to manifest now, but just using the willpower, then one can use willpower at extended stretches without getting into destructive moods. Then actually it becomes an extremely powerful tool that can bring about anything. Now, in our spiritual approach, we cannot just relax and think things are going to happen, because the mind is just off on dreams, and there we go on and stay in our little bubble of conscious experience. The habits are so strong that we don't get around of using the will to some extent. That first, that there is a decision, I want to get out of that bubble. My experience cannot satisfy me if I keep on just turning round and round in the same circles, getting a little kick here, getting a little kick there, becoming aware. It cannot make me happy. There comes that yearning. I want to go beyond it. There we use the will. Okay, I'm starting to make steps. But then, when learning to catch the attention, learning to be more conscious, it's a matter of will to remind ourselves, hey, come on, don't always go away. And sometimes for short moments we can use the will, willfully pull the attention to the present, but then we have also to learn to let go. The will becomes then more the instrument to help us, to just give us the courage not to give up, to go on step by step, day after day, walking on that same path It's a path that is not a path because it doesn't lead anywhere. There is no goal. You are the goal. But the habit to be in our attention so completely away from that goal that is already reached, it looks like it's a path on which we are walking and progressing. And in the beginning, it needs again and again a willful push. Hey, come on, don't just slip in the old habits. It's worth the trouble. I see that I cannot be happy living the way I have been living, so we have to make that effort. And there is willpower involved. And in the beginning, when we start to try to meditate, often there's an effort just to stay somewhat focused. Then it's good that we learn to relax. And it's more a matter of awareness than willpower. Of just learning to become aware what really goes on. And the more we become aware and see the folly of how the mind is working, the folly of how we are creating our own pain, our own suffering all the time, that in itself will create enough motivation that we detach from that more and more. But then comes always the period, oh, I don't feel like, and there the willpower is needed to just give us the necessary push not to give up, to keep going. And to quote a phrase from Nisargadatta Maharaj, and the successful few are those who have continued. Right. Then there comes the moment when can use willpower more constructively, directly, be it in concentrated meditation or be it for anything, that we can focus the willpower because we have learned to relax. And if we relax and use the willpower, there is not that tension building up that is eventually becoming destructive. But then the will can become very powerful and a wonderful tool, both subtly and on this external level.